playoff format or the old playoff format?
I don't know. I thought we got away from it for some reason for another, but not really sure what that is. I got short-term memory loss, so hopefully it's better and people like it. We'll see how everybody attacks it and what they do in order to make the most of their opportunity to go race for championships.
Is there anything that you really like about it particularly, and anything that you look at and you're like, yeah, I wish we had done that differently?
Well, I remember when we had the chase format, getting wrecked once or twice, you're eliminated. You have no chance at a championship. So, and with wrecks being a whole heck of a lot more these days of people running over people, maybe it'll keep it even because everybody's getting wrecked in the final 10. But when it was just me, or it seemed like it was just me and not the front 2-3 guys, I think the best we placed was maybe 5th or 3rd or something like that in points.
How are things at the gym so far?
Yeah, it's early, right? Very early. So just working through everything and trying to get some familiarity for him of the race cars and the setups and the things that they do and what we do and whatnot. So trying to run through kind of his lists of understanding the race car and changes and the feel and just kind of getting back in the swing of things for me.
What kind of adjustment is it to go from the format that was to now this format and having to adapt as a race team? And where finishes, if you have a bad race, like you said, you can't maybe just kind of discard it. But where this one is, you have to have sustained excellence.
I think you just, the good guys are the good guys. You got to be good, right? You have to go out there and you have to have the lowest average finish in the final 10 races. And, by being able to do that, the better you run, obviously, is going to lead to better success. So wins meaning more. Obviously, that's, a bit more paramount, important, if you will. And so that'll be good.
What about there's no more winning in? So you were in a position where sometimes you just had to go for it, and go for wins. Mm-hmm. Now you can really lean into your consistency as a veteran. Do you think that helps your chances of at least making it each year?
Yes and no. I feel like the last 2 years we were knocked out of the bubble because of winners behind us that maybe wouldn't have been there otherwise. So, yeah, I feel like it gives us an opportunity to talk about 16th, but there's no reason why I need to be talking for 16th.
Kyle, some drivers, when talking about the previous format, would get out after making a dive bomb or wrecking somebody and say, well, I had to do what I had to do. That was the format. So will we now see less of that?
No.
This?
No. When you watch all the children that race all year long in the ARCAs and the late models and the other things, and you see that stuff already, they're taught from a very, very young age to dive bomb and run into them and door that guy. Being a dad, I've heard those words, and maybe I've said those words once or twice, but I don't think it won't change a whole lot.
For today, has there been any attempts to do anything as far as different aero packages, whether it be underbody spoiler, things like that?
Not for us, not yet. I've heard of that list from NASCAR, but I don't know that anybody's attacking it yet.
And could you tell any difference compared to earlier last year? I know Tyler said he believes it was a different tire that y'all were on this morning. Were you able to tell, any at least positives, difference in the field being out there with a few cars?
I felt the same this time as I did last year. I didn't feel much difference. That was a long time ago, but obviously being in a race situation is a whole heck of a lot different than just being by yourself and running 15 laps at a time or so. Stay tuned.
Any plans to run long or have at least half or about the whole field that's here today out there to get a big pack of them?
I doubt it. And unless NASCAR orchestrates that, the rest of us don't want to see each other.
Well, how much attention did you pay to the trial, and then what are your thoughts on the settlement and everything?
Yeah, obviously just getting through all of that is better for the sport, So, I think there were 2 losing sides and 1 winning side, as there is in every single lawsuit, court case, and that being the plaintiff and defendant both lose and the attorneys win. So obviously it is what it is. So just happy to see it over with and case settled, and we'll see how things go forward.
Speaking of lawsuits, where's your stand?
We're still waiting on them to answer ours. They asked for an extension because they were celebrating the holidays.
And what about the 12th shootout with Brexit? How did you enjoy doing that, and what was that like?
Yeah, we've done Tulsa now for a couple of years, and it was fun. It was good. Brexton did really well. He got permission to run in the adult classes as a 10-year-old, which is kind of unheard of, but he's proven himself really, really well over the years and has kept his nose clean. So proud of him for all of that, and of course the efforts that he made at Tulsa and being really good and some strong runs. Made his A feature in the restricted class, which we were there to focus on, and went from 18th to 9th, I think. So we just started too deep, obviously, but looking for his future success and seeing what's next.
What was your relationship with Steve Phelps, and are you concerned at all about the top of leadership changing in NASCAR?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of all of what Phelps did, but just through some of the rumblings, his ability of being able to talk amongst all of the key partners, right, the OEMs and the league personnel below him, and of course then the teams and owners and things like that, TV people, radio people, handling all of the businesses and getting all media rights things the way that he did. He was very charismatic. Is that the right word? And so, who does that now is probably, a tough spot, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I'd put Helton back in if it were me.
I was going to say, OD is going to kind of step. It seems like OD may step kind of more into a prominent role, even more than he is now. How do you feel about him kind of maybe stepping into that role, if that is the case?
Everybody always said he was the new Helton, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't mind Steve. I like O'Donnell. I got to say last names.
OD.
Yeah, I like O'Donnell, but there's shoes to fill, and whether he's that guy, more power to it.
Going back to what you were saying on young drivers and racing etiquette, what kind of a rude awakening is Tony Stewart in for in the Daytona truck race?
I need to get him one of my shirts that I wore there a few years ago, where this is the most expensive day of the year for the owners. So I hope he doesn't plan on finishing.
You were the last person to get Biffle kind of ride here in NASCAR. Just kind of, what are your memories of the friendship that you had and kind of the working relationship you had?
Yeah, no, I mean, myself and Greg, we had a really fun relationship. It was really cool. We would go to the sand dunes and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about him and going to the sand dunes. He had a big passion for all of that, and he kind of got me hooked in it. And when we were doing the sand cars and the side-by-sides and stuff, and so we spent a lot of time out there. Before Brexton started racing, I mean, we were out there once or twice a year out at his compound or Ron Pratt's compound or, somewhere. So it was always really fun. And just the relationship that I had with him on the racetrack as a competitor, I ran into him one time. I maybe more than that, but I remember running into him one time at Darlington off of 2. I moved him out of the way. I think it was for the lead. And I let him back by. And then I redid it to do it the clean way, and those days are gone. I don't think you see much of that these days anymore, but after the race is over, he puts his arm around me and he's like, "Did you mean to do that?" And I go, "No, I'm sorry. That's why I let you have it back by." He goes, I know. But we were always really, really great with one another. Him and I never had a problem on the racetrack, so it's nice to have guys that you can be, friends with and smile with after the fact, after the race. Yeah, no, I like North Wilkesboro. It's a cool place. I just remember all the years here and watching it on TV and seeing what it was in the heyday of, the Earnhardt battles and the Jeff Bodine battles and then the Jeff Gordon domination that happened here. So, it's a cool track. I mean, it means a lot to the history of our sport and around this area and the things like that. So it's neat to come back here. We'd certainly love our opportunity of running well and going for a shot to win.